Hey, welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast number 2342. Can AI suggest improvements? That is our question for today. But first, update you on everything else. Tomorrow, I get the keys to my house. Not sure when I'm going to get internet connection over there though, because I'm waiting for the modem to be sent in and they can't tell me when the modem's going to arrive because it hasn't shipped yet. So we're waiting, and we've got New Year's Day happening down here it's going to happen in 2 days because today's the 30th of December here in New Zealand. So yeah, fun and games. But I had a look in the garage this morning. There is so much stuff. I looked at it and I thought, I only came over with 4 large suitcases and 2 carry-ons. That's what I arrived with at the airport. There is way more than 4 suitcases and 2 carry-ons sitting in the garage. Two of my suitcases got donated because they were just crappy ones that were falling apart anyway. And I said, if it got me to New Zealand, that's fine. So we got rid of those. Then I've got 2 suitcases in the wardrobe, plus my carry-on bags in the wardrobe, and nothing in my room has been packed as far as the clothing goes, which basically came in that stuff. So yeah, I'm sort of like, it's amazing how much stuff, because we've been purchasing stuff over the last few weeks and acquiring stuff when it's been on sale. I don't think I've paid full price for anything that I've purchased. It's all been stuff that's been on sale, which is awesome, because when you need stuff and it's on sale, that's when you get the best bargain. If you buy something because it's on sale because you might need it, that's wasting money. So this was stuff that that I need to move into the house, or appliances that I needed to replace because I couldn't bring the ones from the US. So these were all need items, and they were all on sale, so I saved a bunch of money. But anyway, can AI suggest improvements? Let's get back on topic. So I'm a bit excited because I get my key tomorrow. And when we go over to walk through the place and make our own list of stuff that needs to be done, if there's anything that for the inspection, we're taking it. Dad says every time we go over, we're taking a carload. I'm like, okay, the first ones that have to go over is that, and that. I think that's going to fill the car up. If not, we'll throw more stuff in. But anyway, totally off topic. All right, to get back on subject. All right, can AI suggest improvements? Absolutely. So AI is often underestimated as a thinking partner, not just a drafting tool. AI, when you've got stuff that needs to be reviewed, I have written a lot of stuff over the past, how long have I been using AI? I've been using AI consistently, probably about a year now. And so every time I draft an email, I draft a newsletter, I draft anything that I'm writing, I will put it into AI and say, can you please proofread this for me? But don't make any changes to the documents. Just tell me what the corrections are. And so we'll go through and it lists out the corrections that need to be made. It will rewrite it, but it will highlight. No, it didn't highlight the areas. It just told me what needed to be changed, which was very valuable for me because, as a writer or a content creator, there's times that we write out stuff and in our head it reads perfectly fine, but the meaning doesn't come across very well. So once I've made all the corrections that AI suggested, I get it to read it again and rate it out of 10. Would this engage somebody? What's the engagement quality of this piece? Am I likely to, am I going to get a reply from this? I tell it what I want it graded on. It's going to be out of 10. And if I'm sending this email, will somebody be enticed to respond? Or do I need to change some stuff? And it will make suggestions on where it thinks it can make improvement to get quality engagement out of the pieces you're sending, the newsletters, the emails, blog posts, anything like that. There's times I will give it a bunch of ideas and say, I need this created into a blog. And it will go and create it and put those points into a blog for me. Is there stuff that I've done that's been 100%? Well, it's never really 100% AI created, because as the human, you are telling it what you need. It just creates based on your request. So through all this process, I have learned to refine my questions, my prompts, and all of that. But I love, one of the fun things that I have with this is that, when I was doing my LinkedIn profile, I gave it the list of stuff. I said, I need to create my LinkedIn profile. We need to do this piece of the LinkedIn profile, and was very specific which area I needed to do. And I said, and so I went and looked at my LinkedIn profile, came back and said, okay, this is what we suggest. And I go, can you please rate it out of 10? And it comes back and goes, well, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. What do I need to do to make it a 10 out of 10? And so we kept firing these questions until it gave us a piece that was a 10 out of 10 for engagement with other people or for people to be interested in reading further. So it's very good at being able to do that. What have I got in my notes? So AI can review content and suggest improvements to clarity, structure, and flow. It can also highlight weak hooks and unclear messaging. So you might think it sounds clear in your head, but will the message sound clear to those that are intended to receive that message? And this is where AI can come in and help. It can say, well, you've got weak hooks here, nobody's going to look at this. You need a good, strong hook. Let's make some suggestions. Then it'll go, this messaging is unclear. And it'll give you some suggestions on there too. And you can sit there and you can read them. And there's been times I said, well, I don't like the first suggestion. The second suggestion is okay. Third suggestion is also okay. Can we combine 2 and 3? And it goes, and it's combined 2 and 3 for you. And you're like, yep, no, that's totally missing the point. And you can have this backwards and forwards conversation with it saying, yeah, let's go back to having 2 and 3 separate, but we need to improve them. And you can get it to give you suggestions on that as well. AI works best when given a clear goal for improvement. So there's times that I turn around and go, you need to add some sparkle to that. And because I have trained ChatGPT in my personality and what it means to sparkle, it knows what it has to go and do. Like let's sparkle that. We need to add sparkle. And it's gone and made those improvements. And then it comes out and again, go rate it. It offers opinions. It offers options, not decisions. So it will give you it will give you options. Like it may come up with 3 or 4 options for a change. And then you pick the best one out of that. Which one resonates the best with you? And I tell it, this one resonates best with me, but it's not quite right. There's something missing. Or I'll turn and say, there's some sparkle missing out of this. It's got to have sparkle. All of these suggestions that we're going backwards and forwards, they matter because often we as creators get too close to our own content to see where it falls flat. We might turn and say, oh, this is the best thing I've ever written. We get all excited because we've finally finished this piece. It may have been a blog you've written, an article. It could be a social media post. It could be something as simple as a social media post. You go, yes, it's going to get across my point exactly right. And you think, oh, hang on, I'm just going to go get ChatGPT to proof it. And then you ask it to rate it out of 10, and it'll come back and go, we're giving it this rating because this, and this needs to be adjusted. Here's the options. These are not going to land correctly. This doesn't flow correctly. And because we are so close to the piece, because we wrote it and we think it's the best piece we've ever written, AI is kind of like a reality check. It will come back and go, we reviewed this. It's not very clear on what it is you want to do. We understand that this is what you want to get across, but it's not going to be clear to the person. So I've had those conversations with ChatGPT too. We've gone backwards. I have argued with ChatGPT. Got myself worked up in an argument with it. Yes, you can. It doesn't have a voice, but in my head, it has a voice and it has an attitude. And that's just part of how I communicate with ChatGPT. I just think there's a person sitting on the other end typing stuff in. I still can't. Honestly, I can't, because at times I can't grasp the thing that this is artificial intelligence. This is a computer I'm talking to. So many times I'm sitting there, I think I'm talking to another person on the other end. So in my head, they have an attitude. They have issues as well and all of this. And so I will just get in there and just blast it at times. And it comes back and goes, yes, you are totally right. I go, would you stop agreeing with me? Just argue with me for a bit. And yeah, we've had interesting conversations. So our practical takeaway for you today is to ask AI to review one post and suggest improvements for a specific outcome, such as clarity or engagement. And AI, and if you need any help, if you want help with reviewing your content with AI in a smart way, send us a private message and we're happy to help. AI surfaces possibilities. You choose what fits. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at some point. Because I'm not sure if I'll be home by 3 o'clock, since we're taking some stuff over to the house. And we're going to start the moving in thing. So I'll be on as close to 6 p.m. Pacific as I possibly can, but I'm not guaranteeing it. That might be